What's going on, everybody? Today I'm going to show you how to do the motor mount install on the STI here. Let's go ahead and tell you that I've already installed the mounts. I tried to get an actual install video, but due to being on the car and bad lighting and excessive cursing, because these things are an absolute pain in the hind end to install, I just felt that it would be better and more informative for me to walk you through the general process of how to do it. I'll go over, like I say, what we got here to do and tool list. We'll go back here and show you the tools that you'll need to complete this install. Firstly, you got your screwdrivers, flathead and Phillips, a impact, 3/8 breaker, and 3/8 ratchet, bearing extensions, deep well 12 millimeter shallow, 14 millimeter deep well, and a shallow 14. And this is the tool that makes the game right here, is a flex head ratcheting wrench. If you don't have that, this install is, in my opinion, almost impossible, because it takes this bad boy right here to get to the rearmost bolt, especially if the motor's still in the car. But with that, you may need to get a bigger box end to get enough torque on it to break it free. So just keep that in mind. And just a disclaimer, if you don't have a good jack, if your jack bleeds off during this install, you could stand to lose some digits because your hands are in all the pinch areas. So you need a really good jack and all kinds of blocks of wood. But first things first, and I'll link in the description, is to remove the intercooler and take the pitch stop mount loose. I've got an install video of how to put the pitch stop mount in. I'll put that in the description so you can see how to install and uninstall the pitch stop mount. You gotta take your intake out completely, and then you gotta take these radiator support bolts loose, or not loose, but you gotta take them completely out. And what that'll do is that'll free up all this so you can jack the motor up once you get everything under the car loose. Now, as far as under the car goes, we gotta get down. You can see you gotta take this pan down, and I'll do that and then show you what else we need to take loose. Also, something to note, you need a good set of jack stands for this. If your jack stands aren't that great, you may not want to try to do it. And also, once you get the motor up, you can put a piece of wood and some jack stand here to hold this up for added safety. As far as taking the pan off goes, it's a flathead screwdriver, a couple 12 millimeter bolts. And then we need to remove this brace. You see the bolts run all the way around it. Once you get all those bolts out, that brace just falls right down. After you get the brace out, you need to take these sway bar brackets loose on both sides. That'll allow you to rotate the sway bar down out of the way so you can get access to the motor mounts. One thing to note, these are the Cusco motor mounts, and they come from the factory loose, so you gotta make sure that you tighten these up on the bench before you install them. Just a note there. You can see the nut of the motor mount, and we'll just focus working on this right side for right now. Take this nut loose, take the nut loose on the other side, and what that'll do is that'll allow you to start to jack the motor up. Now, how I did it, I got a bunch of blocks of wood. Make sure your jack's good, like I stated earlier. If your jack's not good, again, don't try this. Put your blocks of wood and your jack in here. On the Subaru emblem, if you got the factory header, start jacking it up. One thing to watch out for above this line right here is it'll start to pull tight. It'll get pretty tight, but what you're looking for down below is you want about an inch and a half of clearance above the cross member right here. Once you get your inch and a half clearance, like I say, just keep checking that line up there. You don't want to go too high. Then you can start actually working on the motor mount. Now, when it comes at this point, you pick a side. Just do one side at a time. Don't do both sides. So just keep that in mind. As far as the motor mount itself goes, this front nut is easy to get at, so you can take it loose. The rear one on this side, I can't even get it to show up on camera, but it's the one that takes the flex head ratchet, and it's the one that'll probably make you drop by 8,500 F-bombs. But it's a pain in the hind end to get at, but that's where that flex head ratchet comes into play. You probably need to use a bigger box end to get enough torque on it to break it free. But let's just say you get it free, this motor mount just pops right out. So we'll go over here to the bench and show you the OEM one. Now, some things to bear in mind with this is the orientation of the stud has to be the same. You can see the stud is kind of orientated, offset more towards the rear. I've got it wrote on there actually, rear. So you want this offset to face the rear of the vehicle. The Cuscos have the same offset. Also, these factory motor mounts have silver plates on them, mounting plates. You just have to swap the mounting plates over to the Cuscos. So that's a pretty easy swap. But the one thing to make sure is this offset has to be facing the rear. Otherwise, when you put the mount back in and you lower it down, it won't line up correctly. Past that, you know, the reinstall, the mounts just kind of go right back in. It's not that big of a deal as far as reinstall goes. The driver's side is more of the pain in the hind end than the passenger, so would opt to start with the driver, and then the passenger will be a cakewalk. Again, I apologize for not actually showing an install video per se, but hopefully this helps somebody that may want to pursue this install. You know, that's what it's about for me, just trying to help people and get some general information. If you found the video helpful, please leave a like or comment, and we'll catch you in the next one.